Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dakota Fundraising News Podcast. Today is Friday, the 14th of February. We are obviously recording this on Thursday, the 13th, because Friday the 14th is the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl parade. Konch, you headed there?
For sure. Canceling all Valentine's Day plans. Eagles parade, that's the number one priority tomorrow.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same. Unfortunately, I don't have a say in the Valentine's Day plans, and there are what I'll just call fixed Valentine's Day plans that cannot be changed around. But it'll be good nonetheless, getting out of the city, going to the mountains for a weekend, maybe some skiing, definitely some hiking. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
Let's just jump into things that way we can get out of here and start. You get your green on and I'll get my goggles cleaned.
Alrighty.
We'll jump right in. Speaking of skiing and the cold, we'll start in the Great White North. Adam Street has announced that they've opened their first Canadian office. This will be in Toronto. It is the firm's 6th office in North America, their 13th office globally, and they have appointed an investor relations principal, Colin Miller, to lead this Canadian office and to lead the Canadian effort. Similarly, not similarly, let's just start moving down a little bit. We'll be in Providence, Rhode Island here, where John Genko has left Beaumont Financial. He has joined Whale Rock Partners as a portfolio strategist. Whale Rock is a multifamily office in Providence, Rhode Island. And finally, Salman Chattopadhyay has left the Resources Investment Advisors, and he has joined Harbor Capital Advisors as head of portfolio solutions. If you're not familiar with Harbor, they are a mutual fund sub-advisor, so good opportunity there for any of our long-only firms listening in.
Yeah, we'll just keep it moving here. LPL, of course, is up next. They've recruited 2 financial advisors recently, namely Steve Schultz and Melissa Toller-Short. They're coming over from Ameriprise to the Employee Advisor channel. Both those advisors were based in Yuma, Arizona, where they, collectively combined $300 million in assets over at Ameriprise. We'll just keep it moving here to Stolper Asset Management and DCH Financial Services. Both of those Raymond James affiliates have merged to form Wealth Oklahoma, so a new firm here serving clients primarily in Tulsa. You have John Stolper will be the wealth manager and CIO of the new firm. Susan McDonald will be your research director and portfolio manager at the new firm. Janet Miller running branch operations, and then Salith Fuller as a wealth manager. And then just to top off their team here, Karen Burns will be investment executive and compliance officer there. Stolper previously managed a little over $300 million in assets, of which 148 were from high net worth individuals.
Yeah, Blue Spring too in the news. Blue Spring's made a move in Louisville, Kentucky. They have acquired Reliant Wealth Planning, RIA with $560 million in AUM. It's a 13-member team at Reliant led by Sean Cleff and Laura Clark. A lot of good stuff happening in Kentucky right now as the number 15 Wildcats just beat Tennessee earlier this week in a pretty good upset. There's good SEC basketball on. As we get closer to March, we'll have our March Madness episode, I'm sure.
For sure. Yeah, we talk about these advisor teams and acquisitions a ton on the podcast. So many of them. If you haven't checked out our monthly roundup of these, you can do so on our website at dakota.com. The January one is just, honestly, there's so much information. I'm surprised we give that out for free, but it's there if you guys want to check it out. All the January advisor moves and acquisitions included in that document.
Yeah, and get on it quick because maybe it won't be free for long.
We'll keep it moving though. Nothing for consultants recently. Actually, there is a consultant piece I did want to touch on that I reviewed just before jumping on this recording. But the Employees Retirement System of Texas, they currently use Makita, NEPC, and Albert as their consultants. They recently made some recommendations for general private equity, real estate, infrastructure, private credit, and hedge fund consultants. We'll follow up when this is confirmed, but they're recommending RVK as the new general consultant, Axia as a private equity consultant. Axia also has their private real estate and infrastructure consultant, and then they're going to stick with Albert on the hedge fund side and add private credit to their coverage there. So just wanted to call that out. Again, those are recommendations from the meeting that we recently reviewed, but once we can confirm that, we will. Searches, Pat, there's been one recent active one.
Yeah, Quincy Retirement System has released an RFP for fixed income, particularly a bank loan play. So they are looking for a firm that has at least $10 billion under management, $1 billion invested in a bank loan strategy, and at least a 5-year performance history that's led by the same team managing the bank loan fixed income strategy. They use Makita as a consultant. The deadline for this is February 28th. Again, that is a $10 million search. Not sure if I mentioned that. And then search update too from Memphis. This is a firm or a plan we hear less about, but Memphis Light Gas and Water Division Pension Fund. They have a little under $2 billion under management. Actually, they use CBiz as their consultant. Memphis, they have a search update for their international equity RFP. An RFP was conducted to replace the current manager, which was J.O. Hambro. They have been presented GHG, MFS, and Northern Trust as potential replacements. So congratulations to those 3 firms, and we will see what happens.
Nice, yeah. And then some other commitment plans from Kern County recently. This is a retirement plan based out in LA, a little under $6 billion in assets, leveraging Veris and then Cambridge on the private equity side. For private equity, they're looking to commit $85 million this year, focusing on buyout re-ups, secondary re-ups, and then early stage and sector-focused VC. For private credit, $175 million for that target, focused on opportunistic credit and then any complementary non-corporate exposures. And then on the real asset side, focused on real estate re-ups, energy, and infrastructure, they're targeting $85 million to those investments. Sticking with Kern, they also disclosed a couple recent allocations. This is coming from a February 12th meeting, so very, very recent. They've allocated $30 million to Hudson Bay Real Estate, $30 million to the OrbiMed Royalty and Credit Opportunities Fund 5. SRE Opportunity Fund 5, a real estate fund, received a $30 million allocation. And then you have a private equity co-investment fund that they're calling Project Trico with Warren Equity Partners, $5 million there.
Yeah, we'll go back to the SEC this time. University of Alabama, their endowment has made some commitments as well. They also participated in that SRE Fund 5 raise. So that's that opportunistic real estate fund that you just mentioned. And then another opportunistic real estate fund with Socorro Dynamic Opportunity Fund, $20 million to SRE and $60 million to Socorro Dynamic Opportunity Fund. We've got some fundraising updates to walk through. We talked about Providence at the head of the call today, at the open of the call. Providence Strategic Growth has closed 2 investment vehicles, a total of $8 billion. You can learn a lot more about this in Dakota Marketplace, but one of those was their flagship fund, which they did secure $6 billion in capital from new and existing investors. That's the PSG Fund 6. That includes state and corporate pension plans, sovereign wealth, family offices. The 5th vintage of that only raised about $4.7 billion. I say only, like that's not a ton. Great firm, obviously, but have overdone themselves really on this next race, which is great.
To only have 4.7 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to only have.
Yeah. Last update we have here is from a firm everyone is very familiar with, KKR, of course. They provided an update on their North American Fund 14, which was launched back in June of last year, targeting $20 billion, and they're expecting the first close later this month. The update they provided, they've secured already $14 billion in capital commitments before that first close, namely from some major state pension funds. I'm sure we have some of those in Dakota Marketplace. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for this week's updates, Pat. Always a great time doing the show with you. Any updates on Dakota Marketplace that you can share with us recently?
Yes, tons of updates from Dakota Marketplace recently. As you all have seen, if you are subscribers, we've been rolling out more and more CRM-like capabilities. As of this week, you now have the ability to add opportunities against accounts. So if you're calling on any of the accounts we mentioned today, I'll use University of Alabama for an example, and you're raising money for, Konch Fund 2, you can come in and keep track of all of that right in Dakota Marketplace. So working closer and closer towards being a full CRM solution for all of our customers. I think it's interesting when you think of these CRMs, it's like buying a house and then you have to furnish the house with data and you have to design the house and get which, walls you want, which is like the fields here. What we're providing in Dakota Marketplace now is a house that is fully furnished with exactly the data that you need, exactly the furniture that you need. You might have to add a lamp here and there. You might have to add a custom account or contact, which you can do, but trying to make it ready to play right out of the box. Speaking of play, you can catch us on the road. We'll be in Boston March 5th, as we mentioned a few times, Park City March 20th, and then a new addition to the slate, April 9th in San Francisco at the Amador Club. We can't wait to see all of you there. Another unbelievable venue for Dakota Cocktails. We will see you there. In the meantime, everyone have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys.
This episode is brought to you by Dakota Marketplace. Are you tired of constantly jumping between multiple databases and channels to find the right investment opportunities? Introducing Dakota Marketplace, the comprehensive institutional and intermediary database built by fundraisers for fundraisers. With Dakota Marketplace, you'll have access to all channels and asset classes in one place, saving you time and streamlining your fundraising process. Say goodbye to the frustration of searching through multiple databases, websites, Form ADVs, and say hello to a seamless and efficient fundraising experience. Sign up now and see the difference Dakota Marketplace can make for you. Visit dakota.com/Dakota-Marketplace today.